and thanksgiving. But to find the true meaning of what worship is, it must go back and look in the time before Christ, BC. Look to a man that lived a life of worship. He was rich and powerful, called upright man by God, a man that feared God and worship. He was known as a blameless man. No one had anything bad to say about him. You know, as Christians, can anybody have bad things to say about you?
Wow.
He was a man that reverenced God. He was always thanking God for his goodness and always wanting to be in good fellowship with God. Do you want to be in fellowship at all times with God? So he prayed without ceasing and remained in God's favor. He understood how important it was to be a friend of God and not an enemy. He knew the power of God, so he stayed away from all evil. How many of us find ourselves doing evil things and always run to God asking forgiveness over and over and over again? He was a man of God, a man that God could brag about. Can God brag about you and your life? All these were taken from him. Because of this man's life, he was turned over to the enemy to be tested and emerged from the test as pure gold. Can you be emerged from your testing by God as pure gold? Can you? Can I? Can God count on us? Aye. From that test, a pure gold, because he lived a life of worship, he defeated the enemies on his own grounds. All these were taken. He lost his kids, his wealth, and his health all in one day. If God took all that from you, would you still worship?
My God.
Would you still praise? Would you still give him thanks? God was a rich man. We have money. Many of us have money, little or lot. But we would not do it, would we? At the end of all this, yet he did not forsake God. He continued to worship and gave God the praise. God was proud of him. So proud that he gave him more than he had lost. He lived a life of prayer, fasting, and thanksgiving. That is a life of worship. Is your life with prayer and fasting and thanksgiving? That is the mightiest tool that any human being on this earth can have. Can God be proud of me? Can he be proud of you? As he was proud of Job? Think about it. He bragged about him. That is something when God can really brag about a man and a woman. Can God brag to the enemy about me in your life? Take a look back in your life and consider, can God really brag about me? Can he really trust me to go against the enemy and come out as pure gold? That's something to think about. As time passes on this earth, you have to learn to live a life of worship. We worship in our giving. We worship in our prayer. We worship in our thanksgiving. Every day we go, We worship in those things. Worship, it is a tool we have to use. We cannot get the job done without that tool. And worship is something that every Christian child of God should have in their daily life. You cannot fight this battle alone. You only can fight it with God. And the only way you can fight it is to live a life of worship. The enemy cannot defeat you when you live a life of worship.
Amen.
You must take time to pray. Job prayed without ceasing, with all that was taken from him, with all that was destroyed. He never gave up on God. Why? Because he had a life of worship. He knew. He had his confidence in this Redeemer. He knew what God can do, how he can bring him out. And that is one of the reasons why his fight was victorious. And after it's all done, God said, because of your faithfulness, because of your life of worship, I will restore to you more than you have lost. Are you ready to live a life of worship that God can restore to you more than you've lost? Fasting, prayer, and thanksgiving is worship. Let us worship God for the honor and the glory of his name. May God bless you.